In a place where the wind cuts like a blade and secrets are as old as the hills, a tale of forbidden love and relentless vengeance is about to unfold. Meet Eamon, a man marked by pain and determination; Isolde, a free spirit trapped by family duty; Gareth, consumed by hatred and envy; and Lucian, the passionless noble who intertwines their fates. In Shadow Vale, where the mist hides more than it reveals, burning passions and dark oaths collide in a plot that will grip you from start to finish. Prepare for an emotional journey, where every choice has consequences, and love can be both salvation and a curse. This is a story you won't want to miss. Shall we begin? The echo of the moorset was a cold, damp night when old Mr. Alistair brought the boy to the manor. He had found him on the streets of Liverpool, wrapped in rags, his eyes burning like embers in his pale, dirt-streaked face. The boy didn't say a word, but his piercing gaze seemed to cut through the soul of anyone who dared to look at him. Alistair called him Eamon, a harsh, almost wild name, as if it had sprung from the dark, damp earth of the moors. The manor, known as Shadow Vale, stood alone on the hill, surrounded by vast plains of heather and winds that howled like lurking wolves. The Alistairs lived there, cloistered in their own storm of secrets and resentments. There were three of them: the old patriarch, whose presence dominated the house even in death; Isolde, the fiery-haired daughter, who seemed to belong more to the wind than to the suffocating walls of the manor; and Gareth, the bitter and possessive eldest son, who saw the stranger as a rival from the very first moment. Eamon was met with suspicion. Gareth hated him instantly. But Isolde was different. From the very first day, she approached him with a mix of curiosity and tenderness. Together, they ran across the moors like wild children, laughed at secrets no one else understood, and shared dreams others would call madness. To Eamon, Isolde was the only ray of light in a hostile, dark world. To Isolde, Eamon was the freedom she had never known. Time passed, but the intensity between them never faded. On the contrary, it grew, taking root like heather clinging to the dry earth. They were two bodies and one soul, bound by something neither time nor death could dissolve. Their childhood friendship blossomed into a forbidden love, laden with vows whispered to the wind and stolen kisses beneath the pale moon. "I am yours, and you are mine," she would say forever. But Gareth watched, always watched. Gareth never accepted Eamon's presence at Shadow Vale. He loathed how Eamon grew strong, handsome, and determined. But most of all, he hated the way Isolde looked at him. When old Mr. Alistair died, Gareth finally gained the power he had always craved. Eamon became nothing more than a servant in the house that had once welcomed him. "You're nothing but a nameless bastard," Gareth spat. "And you always will be." But Gareth still had one card left to play. Before his death, the Alistair patriarch had promised Isolde to Lucian, the heir of a wealthy and influential family, a man who was educated, courteous, and empty. A cold contract to secure the estate. Future. Gareth wasted no time demanding that Isolde fulfill her duty. Eamon learned of the decision too late. "You can't do this," he said, his voice breaking with desperation. "You're mine, Isolde. We are one, Eamon. Her eyes brimmed with tears. "If I run away, I'll condemn my family to ruin. And you have nothing." Her words were like blades. That same night, Eamon left without looking back. The only thing he left behind was a scribbled note, stained by something that could have been rain. or tears. You destroyed me, but I will return. Eamon wandered the moors, consumed by a fury that burned hotter than the winter cold. He felt betrayed, crushed, abandoned, but he would not be forgotten. He vowed to himself. One day, he would return, rich, powerful, capable of destroying Gareth and reclaiming Isolde. When Eamon left Shadow Vale that stormy night, he carried nothing but the fire of rebellion in his chest. The rain fell like sharp blades, the wind howled like a vengeful spirit, but he felt nothing, neither the cold nor the fatigue. All he knew was that he couldn't stay. He couldn't watch Isolde marry another man. Aimless, he wandered the moors, his feet sinking into the soaked earth. He pressed on, as if fleeing not just from a home that was never his, but from himself. The fields gave way to roads. The roads led him to the sea dot, at the port of Whitby, where the docks swarmed with sailors and smugglers. He found refuge aboard a merchant ship bound for an uncertain destination. The captain didn't ask his name, and he offered no answers. He left with the tide, disappearing beyond the horizon like a specter with no past. What happened in the years that followed, no one knew for certain. Eamon never spoke of that time, and those who dared to ask received only an icy stare in response. But rumors spread. Some said he had become a feared corsair in the Caribbean, plundering ships and amassing wealth stained with blood. Others swore he had found an ancient map leading to treasure buried on an island, forsaken by the gods. There were whispers of a darker fate, that Eamon, in his thirst for vengeance, had made a pact with forces beyond mortal comprehension. They said that on the night he left, the devil himself walked beside him through the rain, offering him more than he could dream of, for a price he could never truly pay. What was known was that when he returned, he was no longer the man who had left. Eamon returned 6 years later, but not as a broken man. He came back rich, powerful, and shrouded in an aura of mystery that made even the bravest hesitate to meet his gaze. His face had hardened, his expression cold as steel. His eyes, once bright with youthful passion, were now a piercing blue. As the stormy sea, no one knew where his wealth came from, but few dared speculate aloud. Some believed he had plundered entire cities. Others insisted his fortune was cursed. Born of sin and blood, he never confirmed nor denied. He only smiled a dark, indecipherable smile, as if he knew something no one else could comprehend. But his return wasn't for gold. It was for revenge. It was for Isolde. And this time, he wouldn't leave without taking what was his. Gareth, consumed by hatred and alcohol, knew Eamon's return spelled his downfall. But his pride would never allow him to admit defeat. On the stormiest night of winter, the two men faced each other atop the hill. Years of fury erupted into blows and blood. Eamon won. Gareth fell, cursing his name with his last breath, but victory tasted bitter. Isolde torn between two worlds, the feverish love of Eamon and the security of Lucian grew weaker each day, consumed by guilt and longing until the storm took her with it. She died giving birth to Finn, the son she would never see grow up. Eamon vanished on the night of her death. Lucian never remarried. He raised Finn alone, telling him stories of the wild woman of the moors, the one he had loved like a distant dream. As for Eamon, no one ever knew where he went, but some say he still wanders the moors, calling Isolde's name on nights when the wind cuts sharp. There are whispers that when the wind howls through Shadow Vale, you can hear his voice mingling with the cries of the wolves. Isolde,
Isolde, Isolde.
And so ends the story of Eamon and Isolde, a journey where love, vengeance, and fate intertwined in an irreversible way. But this is just one of many narratives we hold here at TalesCrypt. Leave a comment. What did you think of Eamon and Isolde? Fate, do you know any stories like theirs? Where are you watching us from? We love hearing your opinion. If you enjoyed this tale, don't forget to like the video and share it with anyone who loves a good story. Your interaction helps the channel grow and bring even more captivating stories to you. Turn on the notification bell and subscribe to TalesCrypt so you don't miss any of our upcoming tales. We have many exciting and mysterious stories waiting for you. Get ready. The next story is already on its way.